Picture this, a small pot on the stove, steam curling up like a soft ribbon, and the scent of warm citrus and ginger filling the kitchen. You lift a mug, feel the heat in your palms, and something inside you eases. Your belly softens, your shoulders drop, and the skin on your face feels quietly soothed by the steam. Tonight, you can make that in about 10 minutes with simple pantry staples. Welcome to Earthy Remedy. I'm Fiona Thompson, co-host and nutritionist. The research shows plant-forward rituals and warm broths can support digestion and evening calm, not as a cure, but as a gentle nudge toward balance. Tonight, we'll blend lotus root, dried orange peel, and a touch of ginger into a comforting broth. And I'm Sam Nang Bradley. We'll tell a quick story, talk a little science, then make the broth together slowly so you can follow along. No hurry, just a small evening ritual. A friend called me winter, jet-lagged, out of routine, skin dry from plain air and late dinners. She reached for heavy creams and a dozen fixes, but ended up making a tiny pot of lotus root and orange peel broth. By the time she cradled the mug in her hands, she noticed a small shift, a softer jawline, a quieter belly, a little room to breathe. It wasn't dramatic, but it mattered. Let's break down why that little shift can happen. Lotus root brings soluble fibers and mucilaginous starches that release into broth and create a gentle, slippery texture. Nutrient-wise, it offers modest vitamin C and minerals, and those starches can feel soothing to the gut lining.
Wait, mucilaginous? So it actually makes the broth feel silky and comforting?
Exactly. That silky mouthfeel is part of the experience. It's why a cup of broth can feel more soothing than plain water. Dried orange peel brings volatile oils like limonene, which give that bright, calming aroma and can mildly stimulate digestive secretions. And ginger adds warming bioactives like gingerols, which help with mild nausea and gentle motility. The evidence supports these ingredients as supportive foods. Think comforting and regulatory, not curative.
So the mug and hands feeling is actually part chemistry and part ritual. The steam, the smell, the texture, all telling your nervous system it's time to relax.
Yes, the sensory signals matter. From a biochemical perspective, warm liquids can support vagal tone and digestion simply by creating a predictable sensory routine. That pattern helps the body shift from a busy, alert state to a calmer evening mode. The data suggests small, consistent practices like this can improve subjective sleep readiness and digestion, especially when paired with a relaxed bedtime routine. Traditionally, lotus root shows up in congis and broths across East and Southeast Asia for that very reason, gentle nourishment in colder months. Citrus peel is a pantry mainstay in many households, tucked into teas or soups for a bright lift. So tonight, we're joining small, practical traditions with a bit of science.
Who benefits most? Folks wanting a light, non-caffeinated evening drink, people with mild digestive discomfort, or anyone noticing drier skin in cool weather. Cautions: if you're allergic to lotus or citrus, don't use them. I'll suggest substitutions. If you're on a low-sodium diet, watch additions like miso. Pregnant or breastfeeding listeners and those on prescription meds should check with their provider before adding new regular rituals. This is supportive, not medical treatment.
Ready to make it? I'll read the ingredients slowly. You can jot them down or just listen. We'll have the full recipe in the show notes. I'll chime in because I can already imagine that citrus ginger scent.
Ingredient list. Slowly. 1 cup of water, the extraction medium. 40 grams fresh lotus root, peeled and thinly sliced. About 3 to 4 thin slices. This gives gentle starch and mucilage. 1 to 2 small pieces of dried orange peel, or 1 teaspoon powdered, or 2 thin strips whole. Aromatic oils bring the bright note.
I can almost smell that already. Warm citrus and a little spice.
Half-inch piece of fresh ginger, thinly sliced or lightly crushed. 1 teaspoon of white miso, optional and dissolved at the end. Use a gluten-free miso if needed, or skip for a low-sodium option. Tiny pinch of salt if desired. Substitutions. If Lotus isn't an option, peeled pear slices or steamed sweet potato provide gentle starch. If you lack dried orange peel, a thin strip of fresh peel, no white pith, works too. Equipment is simple. A small pot, a spoon, a knife and cutting board, and a mug. A strainer helps if you don't like bits in your cup.
Okay, step by step, slowly. Step 1. Pour 1 cup of water into your small pot and set it over medium heat. Step 2. While the water warms, peel and thinly slice your lotus root. Notice the pale rings as you cut. That's the starchy texture we're after. Add the slices to the pot.
If you're using pear or sweet potato instead, slice them about the same thickness so they release their gentle starches evenly.
Step 3. Add your dried orange peel and the sliced ginger. Step 4. Bring the mixture to a gentle simmer, not a rolling boil. Then lower the heat and let it simmer for 8 to 10 minutes. You'll see the broth take on a slightly milky, pale color as the lotus starches release, and you'll smell that citrus ginger warmth. Avoid a hard boil. It can make flavors sharp and carry off volatile oils.
Tip: keep the lid slightly ajar so steam can perfume the kitchen without losing too much liquid. That steam, remember the mug in your hands from the opening? That's part of the signal to your body that evening is beginning. Step 5. After simmering, remove from heat and let it rest for about a minute. If using miso, scoop 1 teaspoon into your mug and ladle the hot broth over it, stirring until dissolved. This keeps miso from being overheated. If skipping miso, pour directly into your mug and taste. Adjust with a tiny pinch of salt only if needed. Common mistakes: slicing lotus too thin so it falls apart, simmering too hard, or leaving fresh orange pith in and making the broth bitter. If it tastes too strong, cool slightly and add a splash of warm water to mellow it. These small fixes keep the broth gentle.
Storage and serving. Cool leftovers and keep them in a covered jar in the fridge up to 48 hours. Reheat gently, don't boil. Best time to sip is about an hour before bed or any time you want a soft, calming moment. Try it nightly for a few days and notice small changes in digestion or evening relaxation. Variations: a splash of coconut milk for richness, a few pear slices for sweetness, or tamari instead of miso.
Now a short sensory pause. Hold the mug with both hands. Close your eyes if you like. Inhale the steam. Notice citrus on top, ginger warmth underneath, and the soothing weight of the cup in your palms. Let that be your small signal to unwind. This is nourishment and ritual together. A few safety reminders before we go. If you have known allergies to lotus or citrus, choose the pear or sweet potato substitutions. If you're on blood thinners or other prescription medications, check with your clinician before making herbal routines a habit. Pregnant or breastfeeding listeners should consult their provider about regular herbal or routine changes. This broth is low risk and supportive, not a medical treatment. Quick recap. A single cup broth made from lotus root, orange peel, and ginger gives you gentle starches, aromatic oils, and warming compounds that support digestion and a softer evening. Start small, pay attention to how your body responds, and adapt ingredients to your needs. We love to hear how your mug and hands moment went.
Did you try pear or coconut milk? Did the broth soften your evening at all? Send a voice message or DM us with your tweaks. Your versions help us shape future recipes. And if you enjoyed this, subscribe to Earthy Remedy. Thank you for joining us. Remember, small rituals add up. Listen to your body. Trust the earth. Feel the difference. Check the show notes for the full written recipe, measurement conversions, and sourcing tips. Until next time, take a deep breath, sip something warm, and be gentle with yourself. This is Earthy Remedy. We'll see you in the next episode.